Hafeez Muhammad with a round of applause.
Assalamu alaikum. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, to Allah alone do I submit and seek refuge in. It is He who is the reveal of all truths, the sender of all prophets, and the creator of all things. Surely I thank Allah for Moses and the Torah. I thank Him for Jesus and the Gospel. And I thank Him for Muhammad and the Holy Quran.
That's all right.
Peace be upon all of the worthy servants of Allah. As a student of the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, who is the eternal leader of the Nation of Islam, it is my honor and privilege to always honor his teacher, the founder of We Who Were Lost here in the wilderness of North America. We know him by the name Master Farrakhan Muhammad. We refer to him as the great Mahdi, or the self-guided one, who came and raised up our divine leader, our divine teacher, our most perfect God, and the messianic figure that the world will get to know even better, the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. We are thankful to God and the Honorable Elijah Muhammad for giving to us an anointed servant who's been a faithful leader, teacher, and guide and warner to the black men and women of America, but through the black men and women of America to every human being on the face of the planet Earth. I speak of none other than the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. I wish to greet you, my beloved brothers and sisters, friends, visitors, and guests, to the mighty FOI and the MGT and GCC of Mosque number 7, New York City, and the New York region area, to Mayor Ernie Davis, who's present here with us. Where's the mayor? We thank our mayor. Let's give him a hand and thank him for being with us. To the Chief of Staff, to the Speaker of the Council, to Johanna Edwards of the City Council of Mount Vernon, to the citizens of Mount Vernon and the Westchester area. We wish to greet you with the greeting words of peace and of paradise. We say it in the Arabic language, Assalamu alaikum. We're so very honored to be here with you. And brothers and sisters, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. Yes, sir. So we intend to make a straight line. Can someone just take that from me? Thank you so much, brother. We intend to make a straight line with this message this afternoon. After it, we will open up for questions for about 15 minutes from the community, and we will do our best to answer you from the guidance and the teachings of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan to each and every one of us. One might ask, what is Mosque number 7, located in Harlem, doing in Westchester in the city of Mount Vernon? Well, first of all, serving as the New York representative of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, we're responsible for this area. And everything that happens in Westchester, Long Island, the 5 boroughs, northern New Jersey. So anything that goes down or anything that's out of order, it is our duty to come into the community as civilized people, to meet other civilized people, that we shall join ourselves together and correct the wrong. So we belong here. Not only that, we have members of the Nation of Islam who are residents here. So that brings us to the city and to the town. What also brings us is the high rate of crime that we are permeating one to another. And it is senseless, and it is not justifiable. So we wish to begin to open this message. This message contains 3 elements: guidance, warning, and the program and position of the Nation of Islam from the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's teachings. And by the time we finish, we intend to get the blood off our hands. So Minister Farrakhan has it off of his nationally, internationally, because he has been a faithful guide and warner to us and to the world. But we must buttress him, back him up, and come into distressed areas and communities. We have left what might be considered the ivory tower, and we've come into the highways and byways, because the Jesus that we study in the Bible, and I understand this is a Bible city with between 300 to 400 churches. Jesus had a preaching and a healing and a teaching mission, but Jesus was found in the highways and the byways. So where is the Doles Center? On South 6th Avenue. It's in the highways and the byways. And I thank the mighty FOI, the fruit of Islam. Let's give them a hand for going into the highways and the byways to promote this program. All praise be to Allah. I wish to thank all who spoke on the program before us, and I enjoyed everything that everyone had to say. I heard everyone who came and who spoke. It is an honor to see the Romali Graham family here, Francois Graham and Constance Malcolm, those who were represented and spoke up earlier, and we'll talk further. But it's an honor because they have suffered a travesty that in the northern part of the Bronx, right here in Mount Vernon, we have to join them on 229th and White Plains Road, and we cannot allow what happened to 18-year-old Romali Graham by an NYPD officer not to be handled and dealt with in the best and most appropriate way. Assalamu alaikum. We have come to the city of Mount Vernon, New York, to offer a message on behalf of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and the Nation of Islam, which contains divine guidance, warning, and an offer of the program and position of the Nation of Islam found in the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad and in the guidance that Minister Farrakhan has been faithfully imparting to us, the black men and women of America and the world. Mount Vernon has been plagued, like most cities in America, within our black communities, with a rise in fratricidal homicides, negative gang activity, beefs in the streets, and turf wars over street corners, flourishing with drug sales and other illegal activities. Brothers and sisters, we are killing ourselves at such excessive levels that we have become desensitized to our own savagery. This savagery has become so consistent and rampant among us in our communities that some of our youth on the streets of Mount Vernon have stated, why not kill one another? This implies that we have become so used to hearing about it, witnessing it, being a part of it, and bracing ourselves for it, that killing one another is the order of the day. Minister Farrakhan, while speaking recently at a benefit program for women in support of the Million Man March in Newark, New Jersey, stated that when it comes to the case of the killing of our brother Trayvon Martin by George Zimmerman in Florida, as a community, we are outraged at police or law enforcement brutality, but it is easy for us to protest. But when we kill one another, we have no response at all. Brothers and sisters, reflect. All praises be to Allah. Reflect on when we hear one murder after another murder, one black man by another black man, or black men having shootouts with other alleged rival groups. There is no real outcry from us as a community, and from those leaders who do speak up. It sounds like a cat meowing at a lion. As a student helper and representative of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, we have come to the realization that we must make a greater impact on the loss of life within our communities. We must do our best to stem the tide of this kind of savagery, get the blood off our hands by not meowing like a cat, but roaring like a lion, and become a cause agent that propels our people to no longer sit idly by as bystanders, but to come off the sidelines and enter into the arena of the resurrection, redemption, and restoration of our people and communities. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan has taught us that the currency of the Nation of Islam is divine guidance. We are traveling throughout this New York State and New York City area to blow the trumpet and sound the alarm that this is the final call. This is the final call to the north, east, west, and south of our communities, and the communities at large, to stop the killing. Now, that's why we're here, brothers and sisters. Now, there are a lot of killing that's going on. killing that takes place in the name of Planned Parenthood.
Yes, sir.
A life that's in the womb. And for those who originated Planned Parenthood, their purpose was to stem the birth rate in the black community. That's the purpose, respectfully. Many who are part of it may not even know their own history. A woman should have a right to choose. We believe in the right of choice. We believe that a woman has a right to choose the right man in her life who will not leave her holding the baby and the bag, but will stay there and become a maintainer of her and that child or the children that they have produced. That's the choice we believe. We do not believe if a woman is raped that she should be forced to keep that child. The Honorable Muhammad said under that, then she can have the right to abort that child. If we have to make a choice between the life of the fetus or the mother, we keep the mother. Because the Honorable Muhammad says when you teach a man, you teach an individual, but when you teach a woman, you teach a nation, because nations come through her womb. There is police brutality, but when we finish with the statistics this evening, you will realize that what the police do to us that is wrong, incorrect, out of order, is minuscule to what we do to one another. And the Honorable Muhammad said, if we get our own foot out of the way, then we will be successful as a people. The mothers who have lost their sons, some of them their daughters, because young girls and babies have died in this process of violence in our community. These mothers can never bring these children back. Even if they have 1, 2, 3, the 2 or 3 that come after the one that has died through the evil accident of time and the foolishness of others, they can never replace that child. I don't care if a woman has 12 children. If you lose 1 to gun violence, it is as if you've lost all of the babies that you have given birth to, because she carries them in her womb. So we as black men, all of us, and we're not just talking to you in the room from Mount Vernon, from White Plains, from New Rochelle, from Yonkers. We're talking to all of us, because Minister Farrakhan says, if you want to see a murderer, look in the mirror. All it takes is the right material and the right circumstance to cause us to tip the scale. We look peaceful now, but all it takes is a car to drive you almost off the road, and then road rage steps in. I know what that's like. I'm a recovering addict of road rage. In the very real sense. And it wasn't until one day when a brother reached down and I didn't know what he was reaching for. And I had something in my hand too. It wasn't a gun. It was a martial arts stick. I'm not gonna lie to you, I had something. He said, brother, I apologize. I said, that's all I wanted. I just wanted to step away because I didn't know whether he had a gat or whatever he had, but I wasn't gonna lose my life. That's right. Because he almost drove me off the road. I'm still alive. That's right, that's right. So now I just let them people go by like that. Because that will turn you insane. That's right, that's right. So it doesn't take much today to turn a Negro, a black person, crazy. Some of us are 2 bolts short of being a nut already, so we really don't need anything else upsetting us. Now, brothers and sisters, everybody all right? Yes, sir. Good. I hope you're going to stay all right with what we're about to say. Now I want to read from the book of Ezekiel, chapter 2. Guidance to preachers, teachers, activists, and those with knowledge. Mothers against gun violence, they deserve our protection. Yes, sir. How can we allow these mothers to be threatened within the community when they've lost their sons, their children, and we allow them to be threatened and we have knowledge of it and we do nothing? Law enforcement in Mount Vernon must stand up. So maybe you need a message to you as law enforcement about what the law really is. We thank those who are strong, but what about those who are weak? See, in the nation, we believe you take a weak Muslim and make them strong, and you take a strong Muslim and make them even stronger. We can never be strong enough when you're dealing with the wiles of Satan, because Satan is always trying to beset us at all sides. See, you're in here today, this evening, to hear this divine message. But when you finish, Satan is going to be on one of these blocks, one of these boulevards, one of these avenues. What you doing out there listening to the Muslims? You know we got to get back to the business. What's wrong with you? Go ahead, I gave you a relief for a little time just to go and act like you're going to straighten up and fly right. But you know we stay crooked. We know how to make crooked things stay crooked and look like it's right. Someone is going to whisper in someone's ear. But I have a message for you from the Holy Quran to close out this program for those who do that. So let's go to the book of Ezekiel. Ezekiel was considered their preachers the mad prophet, because Ezekiel talked about a wheel in the sky. He talked about a wheel within a wheel. We're not here today to talk about that. But one day when you want to know about identified flying objects, we'll be free to come and talk to you about the mother planet. But there's a reality. You think that our open enemy have powerful planes and bombs, but God doesn't have anything? We misunderstand the scripture. But now let's talk to the preachers, the teachers, the activists, and those of us with knowledge. The Bible says in chapter 2, and he said to me, Son of man, stand upon your feet, and I will speak to thee. This Son of Man, brothers and sisters, is anyone who elects to represent the Word of God, or anyone who will stand for the people. So all of us are the Son of Man. It says, and the Spirit entered into me when he spoke to me, and he set me upon my feet, that I heard him that spoke to me. A few months ago, when I saw or heard of the 3 brothers who were murdered in the streets of Mount Vernon, the Spirit of Allah spoke to me. And I said to Brother Arthur, I want to hold a Stop the Killing rally in Mount Vernon to answer this. And the 3 things we must do is give guidance, warning, programming position. I've stayed on par with that. If God is only speaking to our leader, Minister Farrakhan, and not to any of us, then how are we helpers of him? Minister Farrakhan said, I need those with me who also have an anointing from God to preach to the brokenhearted, to preach to the poor, to teach to the oppressed, and to go out and fight. That we will know that our unity will solve 95% of our problems. So, the book of Ezekiel said, and he said to me, Son of man, I send thee to the children of Israel, to a rebellious nation that has rebelled against me. They and their fathers have transgressed against me, even to this very day. Now you might think very quickly, this is speaking about members of the Jewish community. Wrong. The black men and women of America, the Honorable Minister Muhammad teaches, is the real children of Israel. Minister Farrakhan went to the city of Atlanta, Georgia in 2010 and proclaimed it before the entire world once again. Children of Israel, of meaning in the possession of another people. We are under the Jewish peoples here in America. And we don't have a hatred for them and what they've accomplished, but they call us their cousins. But they're not our cousins. They've been our landlords. They've been like our masters. They've been those who've controlled the talent. And they get the bigger money and we get the residual. Talk to your rap artists. Talk to all your singers. How many units they have to sell. Why they have to stay on the road 365 days of the year. But ask them whether or not they have a Jewish certified public accountant. Whether or not they have a Jewish person who helps them to rise up. We honor them, but they don't honor us. Because when we talk to you about some of these rap lyrics that continues to desensitize the young people at this very moment, find out who's behind it, and you know whether or not they're your friends. So the children of Israel, every time you hear it, is the black nation. We have been rebellious against God even to this day. Even though 16 years ago, Minister Farrakhan led the historic Million Man March, we took a pledge, brothers, that we would not kill one another. We took a pledge, brothers, to respect our mothers, our sisters, and the women in our lives. But we have fallen back on that pledge. And the young generation is here generation that we have produced. They're the most fearless, but now they become the most violent. They are impudent children, and stiff-hearted. I do send you to them, even though they're stiff-hearted, hard-hearted, and rebellious. And you shall say to them, thus saith the Lord. And they, whether they will hear or whether they will forbear, for they are a rebellious house, yet they shall know that a prophet was among them. And you, son of man, don't be afraid of them, neither be afraid of their words. You will be among thorns, will be with you, and you will dwell among scorpions. Don't be afraid of their words, nor be dismayed by their looks, though they are a rebellious house. And you shall speak my words to them, whether they will hear or whether they will forbear, for they are most rebellious. But you, son of man, hear or listen to what I am saying to you. Don't be rebellious like that rebellious house. Open your mouth and eat what I give you. Now, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan has done his best to fulfill all of this. We have to do our best now. We can't be afraid to come out here. Because our people, let's just be honest now, straight talk for straight understanding. Our people in the condition we are in, we lock doors when we see them walk by. Don't lie to me. You sit in your vehicle, door wide open, you start going click, click, click. You see some brothers coming down the street, because you don't know what's about to happen. You don't know what's about to jump off. You see a brother standing over here, you wonder what he's doing over there. You see a brother, another brother, he posting up on this side. You say, all right, click, click. Then you start saying, okay, it's time to start this car. It's time to move it. Even though that's your parking spot, but you move out of your parking spot because you're concerned about what's about to happen. The Son of Man, or those who accept the assignment to raise the consciousness of the people, cannot be afraid of the words and the looks of those who are on the street. So we are here because we are unafraid, and we are here to speak this truth that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan has given us. So I'm saying to